Happy Wednesday. It is time now for Agree to Disagree, the show with the motto,
I'm right, he's wrong.
All right, the Steelers picking up their first win, so we expect this to be a heated debate today. A cheery debate. All right, Labs. Statement number one, as many gimmicks as necessary. Labs, you're up first.
I'm going to disagree. I'm not really against gimmicks, and certainly I'm assuming that the genius who wrote this statement is including the Wildcat as a gimmick.
And I am.
And, you know, I certainly will admit that the value of the Wildcat, that it was successful against the Bengals. It certainly helped the Steelers' offense. I won't say jumpstart. I think that's a little bit of a strong term, but it certainly was a help. But I don't want this team to develop the mindset that, for example, the 2003 Steelers developed, that more gimmicks is always better. Because I certainly remember going to New York, Giants Stadium. He was there too. 6 inches of snow, threw the ball 48 times, and lost 3-0 or 6-3 or something ridiculous. So yes, there is room for gimmicks. They can be successful, but you also have to block and tackle, play good sound football to win games.
Prisuta?
Yeah, you do. I'm not going to argue your last point, but that's the only one I'm not going to argue. I agree with the statement. Yes, I wrote it. And yes, the Wildcat is a gimmick. And yes, I loved it. It was something different around what they have in terms of a traditional way to apply what you have. And if you listen to Mike Tomlin this week, he talked about his offense being in a fragile state. I think that has less to do with the respective abilities of the quarterback and the receivers and the tight end, and more to do with the fact that the quarterback is going to be making his third start coming up. One of the wide receivers is a rookie. The tight end's been here for about 7 or 8 days, give or take. This is not a functioning, cohesive offensive unit. I am all for going week to week, at least for the time being. Hey, I saw a movie a while back. A coach named Herman Boone said, "The veer always works, just give it time. If you got to go to the veer, go to the veer. If you got to go to Army's triple option, at least Al Villanueva knows how to block it. Do what's necessary to win a game and repeat as necessary."
All right, so many references I just don't understand. Statement number two, the most rushing yards wins on Sunday. Prisuta, you're first.
And let me agree with that, but also say that these little push passes or whatever you call them, those are running plays. Labs, we can agree on that, right?
Run game alternative.
Yeah, it's not a run game alternative. It's a guy running and he gets the ball and he keeps running.
That's what the coaches call it.
That's a running play, and I think the Steelers got to find creative ways to run the ball. I know the Ravens are going to run the ball. They're going to get mileage on the ground out of Lamar Jackson, their quarterback, who is still not Tom Brady or Joe Montana. I think he's better throwing than some people give him credit for, but he is a threat on the ground. Baltimore is a run-committed team. The Ravens wide receivers do more blocking than they do catching, and Ingram appears to be reborn in this run offense. So the Steelers need to run the ball to limit their exposure, limit the potential for mistakes, and look how well keeping the defense off the field worked out against Cincinnati. Steelers spent about half the game with the ball, and the defense dominated. Run some more.
Oh, just the nick of time. Labs, your thoughts.
I can see the clock right over there.
Okay, I'm going to
It's not an accident.
I'm going to disagree with the statement and disagree with Mike. And again, I concur with all of the statements that he made towards the end of his diatribe there. But the statement reads the most rushing yards. And so what I'm going to say is, yes, the Steelers need to be effective running the football. Yes, they can use that for all of the reasons that Mike cited, to help out the young players on the offense, to keep the defense off the field, control the clock, and on and on and on. But the most rushing yards, I don't think that the Steelers have to actually have 5 more rushing yards than the Ravens, or 10, or whatever the number might be. I think that they just need to be effective running the ball. They have to be dedicated to running the ball. They have to stick with it and keep trying it. And if you got to run the Wildcat now and then, that's okay too. But the most rushing yards, Baltimore is a rushing, well, they are kind of the same. Baltimore will run the ball just to run the ball. I don't think the Steelers need to have more yards.
All right. You had me at gimmicks back-to-back weeks. champs of Agree to Disagree. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Prisuta.
Challenge. Challenge.
It's
Get
like
out,
Labs
River
knew what
on
was
in New
gonna
York.
happen.
We're going to treat this challenge like pass interference. I don't know.
All right, we don't know either, but that is going to do it for this edition of Agree to Disagree. Thanks for joining us.
She's wrong. I'm right.